for joining my YouTube live. This is Explore with Peter Mgo. It's my great pleasure that you are watching this live. Uh, as always, we are talking about travel. We are having conversations about travel experiences, travel moments, travel memories. We are talking about everything travel. And on this live, I have two friends, two sisters in travel. My two travel sisters. I will have them talk, introduce themselves by name, and we will pick up our conversation from after introduction. I will start. Here. Yes.
Okay. Hello friends, hello everyone. My name is Annette Mbeda. Happy to be here.
This is Annette, the explorer. You will see her quite a bit on my channel because travel is her passion. She has been, like I said before, she has been to many places and she has seen many faces. And so have I. And on this side,
Hello friends, my name is Shani Peace Mobala, aka Loved Wife.
aha! That's what we are talking about. This is Loved Wife, this is the Explorer, and we are here to talk about travel. So, I will right away dive into something that I found interesting. Today is Easter Monday here in Uganda, Kampala, and so we've had a long Easter weekend, and I suppose these two ladies have been on a journey somewhere, somehow, and I'd like us to pick it up from there. How did you spend your Easter?
Actually, on Good Friday we traveled to Palisa.
On Good Friday you traveled.
Yes.
Sure.
To Palisa district.
Okay.
And came back on Saturday.
Traveled on Good Friday. What was the purpose of your travel?
To go and see family.
Okay.
Yeah, to visit family.
Okay. On my previous live discussion about travel, I have discussed reasons why people travel, purpose for travel, what motivates and makes people to travel. And as we can hear from the loved wife, she traveled on Good Friday to check on family, to go and see family back in the countryside. Now the Explorer, how did you spend your Easter weekend? My friends online, our followers, our viewers who are watching this live, how did you spend your
My
Easter weekend?
Wow. Actually, I chose to get away from the city of Kampala and I went to Entebbe. Yes. I decided to go to Entebbe because it's more quiet compared to Kampala. I just wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city.
So, friends, how did you spend your Easter weekend? It is April 2024. What time you will YouTube? Think about this question. How did you spend your long Easter weekend? It starts, in some places the celebration starts with Ash Wednesday, Easter Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday. We're talking about 5 days of celebration. How did you spend your Easter holiday? How did you spend your Easter weekend? Think about it. Whatever time you're watching this video. For many people, it would make sense if you would have good memories if you went somewhere. Actually, for those that have really good memories, you went somewhere. You just did not sit inside your house. You didn't sit in your sitting room. You went somewhere, and that's what we are talking about. It's travel. Okay. Now, let's take the gears a little bit higher, talking about travel. The other day, if you've watched my videos, you've had the explorer Annette talking about journeys, but I would love to have the loved wife tell us something about journeys. Shami,
Yes.
on this channel we talk about travel, and it's an honor and privilege to have you. I will send greetings to your husband. Please send greetings in the Ugandan way. In Uganda, when you have people watching you from a distance, send greetings. It's tradition, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Sure.
if your people are not seeing you physically, in Luganda we call it kutumira,
Kutumira.
So we send greetings. It's tradition. If you are somewhere where people cannot shake your hand, you have to send greetings.
Wow.
So please, you can send greetings to your
Yes.
husband.
Okay.
Your loved husband.
My answer prayer, I send you greetings.
Aha! Now we're talking. Answered prayer, Mr. Sam Mubala. Your wife is with us here, sharing information and stories about travel. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I've asked these questions to Explorer Annette. If you watch my video, Amazing Things About Travel Part 2, you will hear Annette's stories about travel. But these 3 questions. The first time you traveled for a long distance, where did you go? Why?
Well,
From where to where? Yes, the first time.
I remember the one I remember.
Yeah, the one you remember, yes.
Oh, first time I traveled for a long distance, it was from Kampala to Hoima.
Kampala to Hoima.
Yes.
What was the purpose of the travel?
I was going to visit family.
Visiting family.
Yes.
Are you surprised that she's a loved wife? Family seems to be one of the aspects that in life that are close to her heart. And how did you travel? Tell us about that journey.
Actually,
the first time.
it
Yes.
was by bus. I was still a pupil.
Okay. How old were you?
Yes. Around 12. That's
12
what I
years.
remember, yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in your adult life,
Oh.
the first time you traveled for a long distance, where did you go?
Ancestor Island.
Sese Island.
Yes.
Talking about white sand beaches in Uganda.
Wow.
Sese Island, yes. Tell us
Yes.
about your journey to Sese Island.
So I had just got a job and I was in charge of an Islands Club project. So that's hotel, there was a hotel at Sese Islands that I had to manage. So I went there for work.
Okay.
Traveled using is it MV Kalangala?
Uh-huh.
Yes, to Islands Club.
Okay, what do you remember about that trip? What struck
The
you
water.
and the water?
There was
What about the water?
personally, I love to travel so much.
I see where this is going. Okay.
If I see me when the radio business, I love to travel. Anyway, so yeah, I just love the fact that it was my first time to be on the ship,
Okay.
and also I just like that breeze. While other people were inside, I loved to be outside, enjoying that view.
So you
The view.
enjoyed the water.
Mm.
I laugh because most of the people, when we talk about
Yeah.
travel by water, the first thing that hits them is the phobia. They are water phobic or hydrophobic. And so the first thing they go like, I was closing my eyes the entire trip. So that's why I laughed. But
Mm.
interestingly for you, you loved it.
Yes.
So the experience of travel on water and you're not going down was mesmerizing. Time to travel by water.
Yes, it was, and there's a way water makes me relax. You know, when you look at water,
Yes, water.
it's like
has
looking
that.
at blue clouds.
Mhm.
Yes, it gives me a relaxed mind. So, and it's in case I was stressed or tired, I feel relieved.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll still hold it on that, and this same question will come to you, Explorer Annette. You have a name and a title from this. Of the people you met on that trip, think about the people, just that trip, the person you remember most and why. That's
kind of
not
person-
just that trip, either from the
Yes.
start or on the
Yes.
ferry or after you arrived.
Actually,
But that trip,
at
yes.
the ferry, I happened to make some friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a kind of person who doesn't like leaving a place before at least I know one person.
Okay.
So there was a group of guys who had come for a kuchala. They were going for a kuchala for their brother. I remember one of them was Tony, and then another was, is it Andrew? I've forgotten the names, but yes.
You made-
So those guys, they asked me where you going. I told them, they said, we should pass by that hotel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so when I reached the hotel, weirdly, they turned up the next day. And like I made friendships with them, even when we were coming back, we happened to come back on the same day. And we kept in touch.
Wow.
Yes, friendships. And also getting to see the island and the people there. You know, sometimes it's hard to think about the fact that the people at the island who are having even a better life. I just seem to love those few days
Mhm.
out of Kampala. The fact that there was no too much noise, a lot of nature. Yes.
Wow.
Awesome. Friends, we have had a few memories from the Love Wife's travel experiences. I would like to also let you know that we don't live where we are right now. This is not our sitting room. We actually moved from our homes, our comfortable homes, to this more comfortable place. And we are at the Penthouse Namgongo. Thanks to our hosts, they have even served us a cup of tea. It's a bit chilly this evening. We are going to enjoy an African tea spiced on your behalf. So we will sip and you swallow. So ours we sip and you swallow. But yes, thanks to Penthouse, our amazing hosts, that they would allow us to and have us in their beautiful space this evening as we share with you stories from our travel experiences.
By the way, do you know I had part of my honeymoon here at Penthouse?
Oh!
Yes.
If you're planning a wedding, to wed or to be wed, how was your stay here?
I loved
your
it.
honeymoon.
I loved the bedrooms. I loved the jacuzzi. Yes, it was beautiful.
So, that's user experience for you. If you want a honeymoon place where you'll enjoy a beautiful shower with your answered prayer in a jacuzzi and having a good time on your honeymoon, it's a place really that should have a beautiful 1 or 2 nights. It's in the city, yet it is outside the city. The neighborhood is amazing. It's a quiet neighborhood, very beautiful greenery. Everything really has a touch of excellence. Has a touch of, from the rooms to the meals to the service from the men and women that work here. It's an amazing place. On any day, I would recommend the Penthouse Namgongo and the other Penthouse facilities. I have experienced them. It's a good place. Ladies, feel free to fill your cups.
Thank you.
Back to the Explorer.
Yes.
The Explorer on our previous live shared with us a story about his trip to Cape Town. She shared with us a story about her trip to Cape Town. And I want us to continue that conversation. People, I'm sure you met some people. Tell us about 3 people that you remember most. 3. I know they could be many, but 3 that you remember most and why.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
3.
3.
The first one that I can't forget. First of all, I went to Cape Town not knowing anyone, without knowing anyone. So when I go to the airport, to enter the airport, I took a picture of myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I sent him
To your host.
to my It was not a host as such.
Okay,
It was
contact.
to my contact. It was just doing me a favor through a friend to pick me from the airport
Okay.
to my place where I was staying, to the guest house.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the people I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other two?
The other two, wow. The lady at the guest house where I stayed,
Do you remember her name?
she was called Monique, French speaking.
Monique.
Yeah,
Okay.
very happy and bubbly. And also find it very easy to make friends. So she made good food, like mixture of French and African. Yeah, she was in that business, hospitality industry. And then we just gelled, like in that night I arrived, and she invited me to another. There
Okay.
was a Cameroonian party, so she took me along.
Okay. Are you in touch with Monique?
Yes, I am.
So from your trip to South Africa,
Yeah.
you met the gentleman who picked you from the airport.
Yes.
Do you remember his name? And then you met a lady,
Yes.
Monique,
Yes.
who was doing meals at
Yeah.
the Airbnb
Sure.
where you stayed.
Sure.
And you are friends today.
Sure.
The third one,
Actually, it's Shakespeare, but we call him Shakes, who picked me from the airport.
Shakes. Okay.
Yeah.
Shakes.
Yeah, you see, I have
Shakespeare.
my mom family planning, so Shakes is now my brother.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
Monique is my sister from the other mother.
Mhm.
And the third person is called Chantal. She was also a friend of a friend. A friend recommended that she came and picked me. She took me to church. And then we went out for a meal. So I'm still in touch with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Friends, the reason I started this channel is to demystify travel, but also share small little things that make travel amazing. And I asked this question to the two ladies so that we can, when you travel, you meet people that you never ever would have met if you stayed in your sitting room, if you stayed in your city. And in a next social network, out of one trip to Cape Town, she also, actually, those are just a few of the many, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
But she has 3 contacts that you and I, of course, the two of us could use tomorrow if we were
Sure.
thinking of traveling. And so we would get to South Africa without being strangers. But also if she has anything, if she needs to have a conversation, if something is happening in South Africa, there is someone that she will pick the phone and say, I have seen this on TV in South Africa, are you okay?
Sure.
And that means a lot for the other person as well. But also that heart-to-heart connection with you well, people that serve you, is one of the amazing things about travel, that the world becomes a small place for those who are traveling and for those who are serving those that are traveling. As I have said before, I travel for a living. I am a tourist guide and a travel advisor. That's what I do for a living. And I have managed to make my world smaller and smaller by going to places but also serving people who travel, serving travelers. Great. Actually, talking about serving travelers, yes,
Yes,
she has more to
yeah.
throw
Can I
in.
just
Please
add on?
throw it in.
After meeting Monique, whom I'm in touch with, at the Cameroonian party, I met other 2 friends of hers, and we took pictures. We had a good time, and they said they liked me. So I brought back one. She was like, she had had a bit to drink, and she couldn't drive far. So she was like, is it okay to come and stay with you at the guest house? You know, at times we think so much through things, but at times you have to just let your hair down. So I was like, it's okay. And she's a nice lady. She was from Zimbabwe, but now she's moved back actually. So the following day, they were like, you're so good. They called me up. We went shopping and they took me out for a picnic.
Wow.
More in the park and on the sea. I think they call it the seafront in Cape Town. We spent the whole day with them. So, yeah.
This, to me, friends, what she's just described, she was an angel to someone. You were an angel to someone. I mean, if imagine it's Cape Town.
Sure.
So imagine she had a little bit more into her blood,
Yeah.
more intoxication into her blood. So imagine you didn't take her to the Airbnb that you were staying and left her on the street. Something could have gone wrong. So you were an angel in a way. And it's possible that actually she thinks you were an angel, because if you hadn't done that, who knows what could have turned out on that night, how the whole situation could have turned out.
Exactly.
But also, she was an angel to you. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that you didn't plan that you would ever go for a dinner or for a picnic in Cape Town.
And they took
And
me
there was
around.
this angel who calls you and says, let's go for a picnic and we show you around a little bit.
Sure.
Wow. The loved wife.
Wow.
On your journeys, I know you have been to places. Do you tell us about one person who you remember in one of the places you have been to? Yes.
I remember when I traveled to Rwanda.
What? Sure?
There was some guy, it was our tour guide. That guy, he really took care of us very well. He owns guest houses, Yes. So he was always the one taking us to different places by himself. What I liked about him is that he was humble. His name was Ernest.
Honest.
Yes. And he would tell us everything. You know how if your tour guide is away, it's like you know everything about the country. He'll tell you everything, and to him, it was never too much. Like, it's not, even if you told him, escort me to the supermarket, he would. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So among my tours, I think I can't forget that. I think it's the
Understood.
only tour I really had a tour guide,
Wow.
because I was with family. Yes.
I think I need to make some shouts out. Tour guides, you do an amazing job. You have heard it from a guided traveler.
Wow.
You do a great job, tour guides, and kudos to you. Well done. I can't say thank you enough to the tour guides that do a good job. You are amazing when you serve travelers well. And Ernest, if one day you stumble on this video, well done. Really, really well done. I hope one day you can stumble on this video. You're from Rwanda, Kigali, and you guided a group of people very well. And one of the people up to now still remembers your name. There is a saying that people will forget what you tell them, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah, sure.
And Ernest, you made a guest, a traveler, a customer feel very well, and for that reason, she still remembers your name. And fellow tour guides, let's keep doing a good job. Let's make people feel good, and that would inspire many more to consider taking on journeys that they otherwise probably wouldn't have considered. And testimonies like this will make people come your way, come to your city. Well done, tourist sites. That was just a special moment to recognize the good job that is done by tourist guides. Of course, in travel, you are served by many people, from hotels to drivers to people attending in markets. I mean, everyone who does a small thing in a place, they do a great job. But thanks to Ernest, who gave you a very good treat that you remember them of now. Great. Travel is a very interesting thing. We pick up so many things from our journeys, and I want us to dig in. Both of you, I'd like you to think about a journey that you have made that changed your life in a way. However, something small that from that journey, it touched your life and made you see life in a certain way, or gave you inspiration, or challenged you, or you got a light bulb moment, or you got thinking about something. I'll share my own. I travel for a living, like I've already said. It's actually my work, but many times I forget that I am working. I really forget that I am at work. Sometimes it's worrying because I think someday one client might be like, but who is the client here? You seem to be enjoying more than. No, I really suppose that if someone has their issues, they would have a problem. It says, but this one seems to be enjoying more than me. Then I will apologize. But travel is my passion. I love traveling. I love serving anyone who is on a journey. So once upon a time, I was a traveler, and I traveled to a bit around Africa. But one particular trip, traveled to South Africa for about 2 weeks. It was work, study, and then above work and study would have leisure. At the end of every trip, there would be a free week, and that free week, then with the team of people that we were with, we would have a leisure trip and visit a place and go places, go see places. So on one of those trips, we visited a place called the Farm Inn in Pretoria. And at the Farm Inn, we were given a guide to take us on a game drive. It's a private guest house and ranch in the middle of Pretoria. And during that game drive, my life changed. Why? Because of how our guide treated us, but also the way he presented himself. From the introduction, the way he dressed, he was very smartly dressed. He was very articulate. He knew everything that he had to tell us, but mostly his sense of humor. He was able to speak about 5 languages. We were a group from 5 different countries, but he even tried Kiswahili and say Asante. Said mumbled a few Swahili words. At the end of the day, was like Asante sana, because he knew three of us were from East Africa. But he would speak Afrikaans, he would speak Tswana, Setswana. For me, that was very impressive. And we were a half day with him, and the way he was treating, we were 8 people, but we all felt that he had served us individually. And from that time, I always remembered the way he treated us and the experience. He was very good at spotting wildlife, and when we came to the lodge to have lunch, he wasn't the one serving, but he came and checked on us. How was your lunch? Did you enjoy the meals? And for me, that was part, I think, of how the inspiration started. For me I saw myself in him. I saw myself having capacity and enjoying to do what he was doing to us. Of course, did many journeys, and then I discovered that I loved traveling. I loved the work I was doing, but I loved it for as long as I was traveling. So, that particular trip, that week, I think it was in September 2008. There are many trips. I've done many trips around Africa, but this particular one changed my life. For me, coming to touch with my soul and feeling the thing that I feel was at that moment when we were at the Farm Inn, and there was a very professional, very friendly, huge sense of humor, very warm and welcoming, very eloquent and intelligent. It just inspired me. And I forgot about it, because 2008, 2009, I'm enjoying my work. 2010, I'm enjoying my work. And 2011, it started to suck. And then I just decided, of course with encouragement from friends, who were like, we see you more into travel than in banking. And I'd forgotten about this guy. And here I am. The way he served us, the way he treated us, I can connect the dots that at that moment, I think the traveling me started getting a reawakening. Yes, and it took it materialized 4 years later. That's when I made the step to join tourism. So places that you have been to, journeys that you have made that had an impact on your life is what I would like to share with our viewers. Friends, thank you for coming on the live. The two ladies will be sharing a story, a journey that had an impact on their lives. But thank you for coming to this live. Thank you for subscribing, for sharing, for liking my videos. Welcome to Explore with Peter Mugogo if you have just joined this live. And if you're watching this live days later, thank you. The purpose of this channel is to demystify, to simplify the concept of travel. I say it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be so simple. It just has to be a journey. That's it. Explore with Peter Mugogo, that's what this channel is all about. Thank you for tuning in, and on my YouTube channel, there are videos on other subjects. There are videos, I've shared a video on a Ugandan delicacy, the origin of Luombo. It's a traditional meal that has its origins in the central part of Uganda, but it is a meal that originally was prepared for kings. And whenever you eat Luombo, for you, my Ugandan friend, think of yourself as a king. It doesn't matter your sex, just think of yourself as a king. And I've shared another video on the origin of the Rolex. The first person to prepare the Rolex was an amazing entrepreneur from Wandegea town. So Wandegea actually should be a very famous suburb because the Rolex is famous in Uganda, East Africa, and world over. It started in Wandegea with Sula's Rolex, the amazing entrepreneur.
Is it the Sula chicken guy?
Yeah.
Hey.
Later on did a Sula chicken, I think, yes.
Wow.
Hey.
Yes. So Sula was the first person to do the Rolex. Great. So ladies, that journey that changed your life, or that had an impact on your life, it could be from memory, it could be from decision, it could be from work. Yes.
Personally, I feel like I don't think I have a specific journey, but I noticed that whenever I travel, it doesn't matter whether I travel for work, I come back with a relaxed mind. For example, if I've been in Kampala for long, and let's say, okay, I've been at home, and then I travel somewhere. Since it's a different environment, I come back like as if I'm renewed. Like, I come back with this hype, different from how I left. So I've got that experience from most of the journeys I take. So when it comes to a singular journey, I have to really think.
Okay.
Wow.
Awesome.
Sure.
Exploranet.
Wow. Yeah, I was actually just thinking, I was like,
You have done so many journeys, so I can imagine.
yes, but I've gotten the answer.
Okay.
I was born in actually Kampala, and I had never set foot outside Uganda. So from the time I left Uganda for UK, I got in there and I lived in Brighton. It's in southern England on the coast with France. So
Yes.
it's in southern. In that town, they have like so many students coming in. Like for 1 week or 2 weeks, these students come study languages. People from Italy, from Romania, from France, from all over. And you know, when you come from like Africa, you know, at times you compare travel like to people who have money, but those people love exploring. They say that that name Muzungu is from going round like in circles, Muzunga, Zunga, something like that. I don't know how true that is.
It's not entirely true.
Yes, so.
Yes, right there. She's talking about in Africa, you all know it, that especially East Africa, a white person, we refer to them as Muzungu. Muzungu. I know if you're from America, if you're from Europe, and you've been to Africa, especially East Africa, you've heard people say Muzungu. And some people say that it's from the Swahili word, which means moving around, but that's not entirely true. It's from the origins of Muzungu in Southern Africa. And one day we'll talk about the origin of the word Muzungu, but its origins are in South Africa. Great, please go on. I need to make that clear.
Sure. So when I went, you know, like here we were at uni, I had been in university, and then when I got in there, I had no friends because everyone is doing their thing, and time is very crucial. So I was like, how can I sit in a cafe alone? How can I eat? Because here we are at university, like, let's go to the park, let's go and do this. So being in a community where I was seeing people from all over, from France, from different countries, like for them, it's part of them. And actually, I had friends who were not so rich, but they could save. For instance, if they're taking 5 beers, they would say, Annette, I'm going to stop taking 5 beers, I'm going to start taking 2. And then make saving on the 3 to go to Africa. So that's why I got it. So for me, the original travel to Europe influenced me because I traveled to Scotland, I traveled to Liverpool, to the north of England, to South England, to different cities. So when I came back, I just said to myself, now whether I have money or I don't have money, I think I was going an explorer, but I didn't know. I have to go somewhere. So for me, that first travel out of Uganda was an eye-opener. And also when I travel, I feel free. You're not tied down. Like it's like when an eagle is flying. So I just purposed it. I was like, at least I'll be traveling once or twice a year, which has not happened. But at least when I came, I was encouraged. I had friends in Kenya. I went to Nyeri. I went to Ethiopia. And that started everything. So it's that original trip that made me become, I think, the explorer. I don't know if that would have happened or would have traveled as much if I hadn't traveled out of the country. No.
So friends, as we talk about travel, we all realize from our 3 stories that travel is inspiring. When you get out of your sitting room, when you get out of your house, when you get out of your village or city and go to another place, there is opportunities for inspiration. Your body chemistry sets in, and like your dopamine and adrenaline just goes high in a certain way. You get refreshed. You get there is a lot of things that you can only get if you go. Yeah, if you don't go, there are certain things that you will not get.
So
That's really how I can summarize this conversation. So think about it, friends who are watching this live. Are you going? Are you going? Because without going, there are things that you will not get.
Sure.
It's what it is. Without going, there are things you will not get. There are inspiration moments that you will not get. There are people you will not meet. There are opportunities that you will not tap into. There are lessons that you will not learn. There are experiences that you will not get. There is therapy that you will not get in your sitting room, from your TV, from your mobile phone. Unfortunately, we are in an era where mobile phones have become the prison. Yes, if you don't get away from your sitting room and your mobile phone, there are things that you will not get. There is therapy that you will not get. There is healing that you will not experience. There are memories that you will never create. There is exposure. There are things that you will get to see that you will never get to see. There are things that you need to unlock. There are misconceptions that you need to throw away.
Yeah.
There are bad memories that you need to forget, that you will not let go of if you don't go. So friends, this is me encouraging you and inspiring you to go and explore the world. And when you go out, you realize that you're not only exploring places, you will be exploring people, you will be exploring in terms of culture, in terms of things, lifestyle. That's exploring people. You'll be exploring ideas. You will see architecture. You will see how cities are run, how businesses are run. And all that power is in this one simple thing, travel. So you are welcome to Explore with Peter Mugogo, and on this channel, I share stories and with different people to inspire you, to challenge you, to invite you to go and explore and travel and see the world and experience the world. So usually I'm the one asking questions, but I think I could take some questions. Yes, I need to take some questions. Please put a comment. I can take questions from you. Please post a comment on TikTok or on YouTube. Whenever you see this video, please put a comment. You can ask me questions about traveling. I am here to answer questions. And in the event that I don't have an answer right away, I'm sure other people that are on the channel would be able to answer some of the questions. So please give us a comment, share your travel story, places that you have been to and people that you met, that from that journey actually they touched your life, they inspired you, that journey that changed your life. Where did you go? What happened? Your story could be the inspiration that the person that is going to watch this video is looking for. So please share your story on the channel as a comment or a full story. And I can take questions. I'll give some minutes to think about a question to ask me.
I have a question.
Yes, shoot.
I usually hear people saying that traveling is not about the money in your pocket. What's the minimum amount of money someone can have? Seriously, to travel, let's say out of Uganda, let's say to our nearby Kenya.
Okay, that's an interesting question. So friends, she's asking the $1 million question. How much money does one need to travel outside their country borders? And this question could be for someone in Europe, could be for someone, could be my African friends. Statistics show that actually in the whole world, Americans are the least traveled people. Yes. So my friends in America, redeem yourselves. When you are the least traveled people in terms of getting up outside your country boundaries, like you get a visa and you get a passport and go outside your country. They are, in terms of statistically, they are the least traveled people. Of course, there are good excuses to give. Their country is very big.
And every state is different.
Every state is different, but American culture is American culture. So that's the thing that if you move from, let's say, Arizona to Florida, to Indiana, yes, or wherever it is, the culture is, there will be a subculture. No, there is a subculture, but there is an American culture.
Sure.
At the end of the day. Yes,
Ugandan
I'll tell you that there is a Ugandan culture. When you go to Kenya, the person in Kenya, of course, the people from Gulu are different from the people from Kisoro in terms of culture. But when you go to Kenya, the Kenyan will tell you, are you from Uganda? So, we're not talking about subculture here. So my American friends, yes, be encouraged, don't beef. You need to travel, we all need to travel, of course, certainly. But how much money is the question? How much money does one need to travel outside their country border? I'll tell you that in travel, there is nothing as enough money for travel, and there is nothing as little money not to travel. Why? Because you've had the saying, cut your coat according to your cloth. And the purpose of travel, if you're traveling for leisure, you choose how you want to travel. For example, some people want to travel by air.
Okay, let's say by road.
Other people want to travel by road. And even by road, there are people who want to drive their own cars, but there are people who would like to hop on a bus. And even when you hop on a bus, there is a possibility of taking an executive bus, which, for example, would cost you maybe $50 a return trip, yes, to Nairobi, thereabout, plus or minus. Maybe $80 a return trip, which is about $300, let's say. But there are people who would actually want to travel driving themselves, so they'll spend more on fuel. So in terms of actual money that one needs to travel, that's why they will tell you that there is nothing like too little money. Because some people will get into the thinking that if I'm going to travel, I should be getting out of my country. That's a fixation.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, one needs to set a mindset that I need to go somewhere. That's where they're saying that there is nothing like it's too little money for one to travel. I have been on one of the previous lives. This is where we amazing things about travel. Part 1, we had a story here of the panelist Nash Grace, who had I think it was about $50, 200,000 if I remember well. And he got out of home. He had 200,000, but he had not decided where to go. So he went to the bus park, and then in the bus park he saw the buses and said, Kabale, I've heard about Kabale.
Wow, that's a real trouble.
Yes, with this backpack.
When you're one person, it's easy.
Yes. So I'm answering your question. So do you want to travel as a? That's why you can't say how much money.
That's why I asked
Do you want to
minimum.
travel as a? You can't have a minimum. You can't have a maximum, because there is everything. There are people who will travel and will have one meal. There are people who will travel and so I cannot tell you. But no advisor, no travel advisor will tell you that there is a minimum amount, because when you travel, you choose the moment, you choose the experiences, and the basket to choose from is so big, with things that are so big, but also with things that are so tiny, that if you don't have an eye of the traveler, you will not see.
Sure.
And some of them don't need money. Like the picnic, she had a free picnic, just by sharing a room that she had already paid for. So that's, you see, those are the dynamics in traveling. So the thing about traveling, that the easiest way for one to travel is to make a decision to travel and say, at such a time, I will travel. You could travel to the next city.
Sure.
Then you start to plan, you develop the culture and get into the habit, and then you get to actually know your lifestyle and preferences. And then the previous trip, I had this much, but it wasn't enough. Or actually it was more than what I thought. So actually I can go further. I could actually consider spending more. And so that's where the answer that says there is nothing like so little money that one cannot travel. So this guy did 2 nights in Kabale, visited Lake Lumini,
Wow.
and he had 200,000 Ugandan shillings.
Wow.
And
Nice.
what was most important for him is to get to have enough money for the bus going, and enough money for the bus to bring him back, and some money to buy a Rolex. Yeah, and a place to sleep for about $3. I mean, he was a budget traveler, so he would sleep in any place. But his goal was, go see this special place that I have heard about. Friends, please ask questions. I have just answered a question here. I'm open to taking more questions. You want to throw in a comment
Yes,
to
sure.
her question?
I don't know. I'll give my example. When I went to Cape Town, it was a very expensive trip. But I left here knowing, like, I love history. And I'm a woman, I'm a girl, I love shopping. But I was like, I went to the malls and I was blown away. But I was focused to go on Table Mountain, Cape of Good Hope, the Penguin Island. Of course, there can be that pressure, but as he's saying, when you leave, because it's so much to choose from. And then there's this thing of making friends, like host a sister. There's that group, and they're all over the world. I think that is for open-minded people.
I think even there's this thing called G4G,
Yeah.
a project whereby if since I'm a G4G alumni,
Yes.
if I'm to be traveling, let's say to South Africa, and we don't have what to take, I can easily connect up with someone in G4G and they.
It's the same thing as like host a sister, because I tried actually to connect to them, and somebody will be like, I'm from Florida, I'm in South Africa, is there sister, or I'm from this, is there somebody in Uganda? So when they come, so I wanted that, and actually I had arranged to meet up somebody for lunch, but it was my timing. And as he says, I'm like, okay, I've just come here, not coming back, no, like I love coffee. So people recommended, like, there's good shop in Cape Town, like for coffee. And I love museums, so I saved my money to go to those particular places, other than coming back with perfumes, toiletries and clothes. So you really plan. And another thing, my friend, I met her in the UK and she lives in Kenya. So now I know I have a family in Kenya. When I went to Nairobi, I stayed with them. And then she had a car, we drove to the Kenyan Highlands, to Nyeri, to the Kikuyu land. So it's also good, like, to make friends. You're saying, okay, that's if you're alone. Even when you have family, you just plan it. You're like, okay, we have clothes, we have this food, and when we reach, we shall be cooking. Because you're not like in the Sheraton or Hilton. Because when you want that touch, then it will be something.
Yes.
Awesome. So, friends, here is a travel tip from her question. There is different kinds of travel. There are people who would want to enjoy the sweat from their sweat,
Yeah.
and they want to travel luxury,
Yeah, sure.
and they want full independence. They want anonymity, and no one is aware of where they are. They want private space, and they have earned it. Of course,
Sure.
everyone would want to do that, and go for it. Go for it. Then there are some people who would like to have a bit of everything,
Yeah.
a bit of my private space, my well-planned things, spend a little bit. Of course, with exclusivity, it comes with cost.
Yeah.
With privacy, it comes with cost. Again, go for it. But there are also different other methods. I mean, like backpackers. Most of the travelers that spend top dollar, they were one-time backpackers. The mistake that most of us make is that we want to wake up one morning
Sure.
and we are top dollar travelers.
Yeah.
So that's actually why people start to ask the question, how much do I need to think about? Is it going to be expensive?
Sure.
And all those questions. But start where you are. That's what I would always encourage people. Start the way you are. Think about what you can do. I can't spend top dollar, but I can spend a few dollars. If you ask me, I would be happy to go, let's say, travel to Kigali, or travel to Zambia, or travel to Kilimanjaro by road, but when I'm driving a car. Why? I can stop when I want.
Yeah.
I can have local experiences on
Sure.
the journey. But there are times when I can't do that. I will hop on the bus and I will miss all the experiences, but I will enjoy the one on the final destination.
Wow.
So I will go for that because I don't have enough money to spend on fuel and a vehicle to give me that choice. So when you are a budget traveler, you are limited on choice. The thing is, you are having travel experiences.
Sure.
You are collecting memories. So friends, I need to answer more questions. This was a very interesting question. I am going to get one question from the Explorer at one point. But this is a moment for questions about travel. And to the questions that we have, please, you can also share some comments. You can help the other viewers of this video to get some answers to their questions. We are happy to answer questions from you who are watching us on TikTok and friends on YouTube. Whenever you watch this video, please throw in a question. You could be asking for a friend, that is still allowed. It doesn't have to be your personal question. It could be a question that your friend once upon a time asked you, and you go like, aha, he says he's a travel advisor, he says he's a tourist guide. I should ask this question on behalf of my friend. And when we get the answer, you can forward my answer to your friend who asked the question. Otherwise, you are welcome to explore with Peter Mugogo. We talk about travel, exploring places, people, that is culture, and ideas and concepts. This is the channel where we talk and have conversations about travel. Okay, now now that we have answered a few questions, I would like us to kind of wrap up our conversation. For our friends on TikTok, we are expectant. We would like to answer your questions, but we are almost in the middle of our conversation this evening. I hope you had a great Easter weekend, and it's Easter Monday. We have a few hours left to end this long weekend, and we want to conclude this conversation in the next not so many minutes, because the lovely wife has her beloved husband waiting for her, and the explorer probably might have a journey. Yes. Are you having a journey?
Yes.
Where? What is it? Are you going on holiday? Tell us about your next
It's
journey.
a work travel experience.
Okay, you're traveling for work. What kind of work?
It's a health camp.
Okay.
Yeah, a health outreach.
What's a health outreach?
A health outreach, it's not paid for, organized by an organization or a group of friends or charity, and it's going to be in Bugweri district, Eastern Uganda, where I've never been. So I'll be going for 4 days,
Okay.
and I'm really excited and looking forward to it, because for me, whether it's work or it's new experiences, you know, you just put it in your heart.
What's your role in this? Are you the planner? Are you a volunteer? What's
I'm a consultant.
Okay, so she is. So they are paying you very well, right?
Not
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
It's not for money, because I built a hospital.
That's what I wanted you to bring out.
Ah.
Yes. So she is traveling for. She is traveling. That's very important. Next week she is traveling. The explorer is traveling. She is traveling for work as a consultant, but she is not being paid for the work that she is going to do. It is pro bono. It is charity. She's giving of herself. The beauty for her is that she's going out of her house, of her home, to go out there and be a solution to someone, but also experience the world.
Sure.
So friends, next week, if you traveled for Easter and you are back, probably your work doesn't allow you to travel, but anywhere you are going, it could be for work, it could be for study, it could be for leisure. As long as you are going, you need to move with a traveler's mindset. We've talked about this in one of my lives, that there is a difference between a traveler and a tourist. The traveler cherishes every moment they are going. The traveler picks up memories. The traveler has moments for as long as they are going. And as you get into work after the long Easter weekend, wherever you are, Europe, America, East Africa, Southern Africa, think about going and think about impact. Now, you have heard from us memories from people. Memories from our travels, from our trips. I would like us to talk about dreaming. Let's dream about travel.
Wow.
Let's dream about travel.
Actually, I've noticed that even when you're traveling, I'm very excited. It's like me, whenever I'm about to travel to Hoima, I can be so excited because of I love the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the view where I work from.
Sure. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Paid for.
Yeah. So friends and I, once upon a time, we had a slogan with our work that said that the journey is the reward, not the destination. And many times people focus on destination
Sure.
and they miss out on the journey. So for traveling, the focus is on the journey, not the destination. But yes, dreaming about travel. I'm talking about now traveling for leisure, or when there is an opportunity to travel. I would like you to share about countries that you would like to visit. But also in my previous live, which was amazing things about travel, part 2, we talked about iconic places. and I would like you to go over iconic places. A few places that you love to visit and why. Even the countries. Let's talk about countries. Which countries would you like to visit and why?
Okay.
This is why I want to ask this question, that there could be someone out there that has gone to all the most of the places that they could think about, and they have exhausted their bucket list.
Yes.
And so, us sharing about these places could be a reminder that makes them go like, oh, let me research more about this place. I could think about more in this place. So, friends as well, you who are watching us online, please you can put a comment and share with us and tell us, this place is, I have been to this place. I have heard people talk about this place and this place, but I have been to this place. For you, I would like you to share with our viewers 3 places in Uganda, and then
Where I've been to.
where you would like to travel. Where
In
you would like to
Uganda,
visit.
where I
Yes.
would like to
In
visit.
Uganda, 3 in Uganda. Let's start there. 3
Yes.
places in Uganda that you would like to visit, and then 3 countries that you would like to visit. For today, it's just that. Yes. Then for the explorer, yes, still 3 countries and 3 iconic places.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
In Uganda, we start with
In
you.
Uganda.
Friends, you can
I
share
think
comments.
I have one place in
Mhm.
Uganda, really, that I would like to visit. Okay, I've passed there before, but I've never really. I was just going to Rwanda, so it's
Okay.
Kabale.
Okay.
Many talk about it, and that's why I just want to go and visit there.
Okay. So, have you been to the source of the river Nile?
Yes, I have.
Have you been to the Murchison Falls?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's a must see. It is only
Yes.
one Murchison Falls.
I thought you were meaning
And-
districts.
No, places.
Oh,
I said places.
yeah. There
Okay.
is this. Is it Elizabeth? something?
Yes, Queen Elizabeth National
No,
Park.
no, no. What are-
Victoria Falls.
Which other falls are there?
It's the Victoria Falls that relates to Queens
No,
because
no,
we
no,
said
no.
Elizabeth.
Another
and-
one.
Which?
Is there a waterfall? Is it on Lake Nile? Is it
River.
River Nile?
Yeah, that's Murchison Falls.
I
That's
think
the
it's
Murchison
that
Falls,
one.
yes. It's the strongest waterfall in the world, so it's a
Wow.
must see.
Anyway, first of all, I would like to say shouts out to my best friend who is now a traveler. Hey,
Hey.
Bob can post pictures traveling, and I'm so happy for her. We used to talk about those things, and she's been to the places I've always wanted to be.
Dreams come true. They
Mountains.
have come true.
Yeah. Anyway, yes.
Countries.
That's only.
Okay.
So
Countries that you like
countries,
to visit.
Nairobi, because I would love to go
Yes.
to Diani Beach.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to go to Kenya and specifically to Diani Beach.
Yes.
That's one country.
There. Where are the Maldives from?
The Maldives.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, where?
The Maldives.
There.
Mhm.
Is it Greek? There is
Greece.
this island. Greece.
Mhm.
There is that island which is white.
So you would like to visit Greece.
That one.
Okay.
And then I'd really love to visit Singapore and Indonesia.
Yeah.
Wow, many places.
There are many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Explorer.
The Explorer.
3 iconic places that you would like to visit
Yeah.
and the countries. We start with the iconic places.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Okay. When I went to South Africa, I didn't go to Johannesburg. And I would like, because I was in that era of the apartheid a bit, I was young, so I would really like to go and see the Nelson Mandela Museum
Yes.
and see the history. Yeah, so that's one.
I've been there.
Yeah,
It's very inspiring.
yeah, I would love to go there. And I would like, I just see pictures. Statue of Liberty,
Mhm.
is that in New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's where I would like to go. And then I see so many things. I don't know what that bridge is called in Australia.
Oh.
Mm.
I would love, there's some famous bridge there.
So friends,
Australia. So,
those who are conversant with Australia,
yeah.
please help the sister.
And
That famous bridge in Australia, she would like to try to visit.
yeah, also in this one as well, I see like the Grand Canyon
Mhm.
in America.
Yes.
I don't know
The
whether.
Grand Canyon, yes.
That one. I'd also like to go.
Okay.
And
So
other places.
you have the. So she has shared the countries because everything is in a different country. So iconic places and countries in one. That's too wise.
Yeah. No, I was in the UK, so I got to visit the ones in the England. But also, I would also love to go to Venice.
Mhm.
Maybe it's going down in Italy, yeah.
Yes.
I've seen the movies and I used to see friends go, so I think it's just a nice place to go on the gondola, to go on the, you read and then to go in those canoes and, yeah.
Okay. You are probably wondering, he asks questions, doesn't he have places that he wants to visit himself? Yes, I also have iconic places and countries that I would like to visit. I am a student of history. I love history because I am one person that believes that if you don't know where you are coming from, you cannot know where you are going. And history answers that question. For us to know where we are coming from, so we can know where we are going. So I am an ardent lover of history, of things that happened in the past. And because of this, I have studied a lot of Greek history, Greek philosophy,
Wow.
and all that. So Greece, certainly yes, you're not alone. Greece is one of the countries that I would love to visit because of Greek history and Greek philosophy. The other one, again, is historical. I would like to visit the city of Berlin, and just talk to the people who live across the former wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Berlin Wall.
Berlin Wall.
Yes. I would really love to visit, and because I love nature, and I've had a lot of recommendations about the Black Forest. Again, it's also in German. I mean, I've always imagined what kind of life, what kind of species are in the Black Forest. Are there ants that creep on the ground? Are there snakes? Are there birds? I mean, and it's a very renowned forest, and it has been recommended highly. So that's one of those. But of course, my kids have always watched the penguins of Madagascar. So, because of this, it's either going to be Penguin Island or. That's because of my kids, and I would like to see penguins with my real physical eyes. I mean, imagine I want to see them wobbling. Really, for the sake of my kids, probably they would also laugh too. They've seen the penguins in cartoons, but maybe it's also their desire that they would one day, yeah. I think those are the other one. I'm not sure if I'll ever get there. It's climbing Mountain Rwenzori, the top of Mountain Rwenzori. Yeah, I am not sure because I am growing old. I hope my bones would take me up Mountain Rwenzori 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope I can do that. Really, that's one place I would love to go. Hike and summit Mountain Rwenzori. Before I do that, I'll be, of course, I will conquer some short peaks, like the volcanoes in southern Uganda, the three volcanoes, Muhabura, Gahinga, and Savinyo. I should be able to conquer one of those. And my friend from Tanzania, you talked about how people travel on budget. You know a friend who knows a friend. She just shared with us. So my friend Baraka has given me an invitation so we can go and climb Kilimanjaro. He's specialized in mountain climbing, and he says, come, everything.
Wow.
Come to Kili and let's go up Kilimanjaro. So that's, I think, probably I would be able to give a shot at that as I train for the Rwenzori, the greatest of all. Yes. Okay. We have covered iconic places and countries that we would like. That's not all, but top of mind, thinking off the cuff places. Of course, there are many beautiful places in the world. there are many amazing places in the world. You only, the more you go, the more the world, that's what is funny.
Yeah.
And you've seen, actually this is a fact about the road. When you're starting, the road is like this, right? The road looks like this.
Yeah.
The more you go, the more it opens up.
Yeah, sure.
The more you keep going, the more the road opens up. It keeps
Yes.
opening up. And that's the thing about travel, that the more you go, the more the road opens up. The more, so we keep getting new places to visit, new challenges to take on, and so on and so forth. Friends, thank you for watching this live. I hope our stories can be a source of inspiration. I hope that our stories can be challenging enough, and the comments from those who are watching us can be also inspiring, but also that you could find a solution or an answer to one of the questions that you have had for some time, or that you have desired answered. As it looks like we are getting in to the end of our conversation, so I'd like to take some questions. I'd like to take questions from our people following on TikTok and on YouTube. If you are following, please post a question, post a comment. This is the time for us to answer some questions. We would like to answer some questions. Yes, please give us some questions. Those who are watching on TikTok, those who are live on YouTube as well, please give us some questions. Any question about travel, that's what we are here for. To demystify travel, to simplify, and if necessary, which I don't think so, we can, if you ask, we can also complicate it for you. Yes, I can actually give you a, if you want, yeah, if it's too simple, still we will have an answer for you. Please ask some questions, anything about travel. That's what we are here for. And those who have just joined us, I said earlier on that this is not our sitting room. We left our comfortable sitting rooms to a little bit more comfortable living area. We are at the Penthouse Namgongo. They are our hosts who are hosting us for this live. And the Penthouse Namgongo is a beautiful place. It's a boutique inn. It's an inn, a boutique hotel, few rooms, cozy space, all green, very serene environment, and amazing men and women that work at this place. Right from the person at the gate to when you get into your room, there is someone happy and delighted to serve you. So if you are looking for a place to just chill and have some good time, or if you're on a work trip in Kampala, you're from the countryside, Namugongo is an amazing place. And we had a testimony from the loved wife, Shami, that one of the days of her honeymoon, she spent it here. So yeah, that's a user experience testimony. Thank you to Penthouse Namgongo for having us. Yes, management. Now let me talk to management. If you are management, if you are watching, this is now the official thank you to management of Penthouse. Friends, we are waiting for your questions. Please put your comment or question, and we will be happy to answer you. Otherwise, our friends on TikTok, you can also watch other videos on my YouTube channel. It's Explore with Peter Mugogo. There is lots and tons of videos on my YouTube channel, and right on the YouTube channel you can also ask questions, and when you subscribe you can actually get to watch other new videos as they will be uploading. There is a series of videos. We will be continuing with our, and look out for the origin of the African safari. That's the next video that we are working on. Everyone uses the word safari. It looks like safari is an English word. It's actually not an English word. But when you talk about safari, everyone is comfortable with safari. But the question is, can I go to America and have a safari?
No.
Can I go to England and go on a safari?
No.
So why is it that safari is only in Africa, but yet we say safari to mean travel? Okay? So, friends, my Uganda friends, my Uganda is not Ugandering. Rwachi. And yeyo video yafeddako ku YouTube channel kale n'olwekyo subscribinga tujja kuba tugabana naawe ebyafaayo ekigambo safari kyavaawa era bakibagira safari. For my English friends, I just said that our next video will be on the origin of the African safari. Why is it that when you come to Africa from Europe or the US or the West, it is a safari? Why can't you do a safari in, say, in America or in Australia? Yeah, why can't it be a safari? So we will be exploring that, why it is that in Africa it is a safari. Where does it come from? What does it mean to be on safari? Because for many people in Europe, travel is synonymous with safari. And why is it so? Okay, so parting shots. We are coming to the end of our life, to the end of this video, and I would like us to wrap up. And this is how I would like us to wrap up. I would like us to share about food. Yes, I mean, yeah. That one meal out of your home that you remember.
Out of my home.
Yes,
Why
yes.
is that?
Yeah. And out of your city.
Out of my home.
Yeah, that meal. What was it? What was special about that meal? And where was it? Yeah.
Out of home it may be difficult because you know, they say when you cook you don't feel that
Yeah.
you know, the food the
Away from, no, I mean away from home. That one means away from home.
I thought at home.
Yeah. For example, I'll share mine. Growing up in school, if you have been to school in Uganda, you know that what we know as posho and bean is maize flour, not yellow corn. Some people call it corn, but it's actually not corn because we don't use sweet corn to make food. So it's maize, it's white flour, which we use to make a meal or a porridge. It's commonplace, and I would say that if anyone says they can cook, this is one meal that they know how to cook, posho and beans. So when I traveled to South Africa, I remember this meal. The reason I remember it, actually, even as I mentioned, the taste and the flavor comes back. It was pap with guinea fowl. Wow. And this was in Zambia and Malawi. And it was the same. I think they call it Nshima in Malawi. I mean in Zambia. It was in South Africa, it was pap. But it is prepared, it's quite too soft. Because the way we prepare it in Uganda, it's hard. Yeah, it's tough. But this is more like almost porridge. So when they serve it, you have to wait for it to cool down a little bit, for it to get character, I would say, because
You did it.
yeah. But what is interesting is that when I tasted pap and nshima is the one I think in Malawi and Zambia, and pap in South Africa, it's prepared the same way. But the one I remember the most was in Zambia. Even in South Africa with chicken, pap and chicken. I still remember everything, but it's because I thought it was a meal that I was comfortable with, that I knew very well. And I was surprised that it tasted different. It was totally different. So, there is a socket behind you. There is a socket behind you, Herbert. On your right hand side.
It's good to go.
On your
Use
left.
that.
Sorry, our tech team is going off. They are struggling with powering the gadgets before we finish. But yes, I was talking about my meal. It was pap with guinea fowl in Zambia, in Lusaka, and it was, in Shima with guinea fowl and pap with chicken. Of course, yeah, I think I would actually love to taste it when I look back, because it's local, it's kind of, I think, traditional, and so I think that's why I fell in love with it.